Let's practice evaluating in a function. So anytime we are given a function and we want to plug in, we're going to replace x, or in this case t, with parentheses. So we have 5 minus 4, and we're going to replace that t with a set of parentheses, minus 2, and we'll put a set of parentheses, and that's t squared. We're replacing this first one with zeros in parentheses. We could plug into our calculator exactly like this. As long as we have the parentheses, it'll come out to be correct. But you should get 5 minus 0 would just be 5. We could plug in a more interesting number. We have 5 minus 4, set of parentheses, minus 2, set of parentheses getting squared. Replacing both those t's with a set of parentheses, we're going to put negative 3 in here and see what our calculator gives us. Your calculator will not give you the correct answer unless you put those parentheses in. So we're going to replace each t in a set of parentheses, and you should get negative 1 out for your answer. So you end up with 5 plus 12, and then you have minus 2 times 9. So you have 5 plus 12 minus 18. So 17 minus 18 is negative 1. Lastly, we're going to replace a t with an x minus 1. So we're not replacing with a number, so our final answer is not going to be a number this time. We're going to have 5 minus 4. We're going to put a set of parentheses, minus 2, and it's a set of parentheses getting squared. And we're going to put x minus 1 in here. So we're going to have to do some side work here. We're going to have to figure out some different values. So first of all, we're going to have to distribute this negative 4 to the x minus 1. And then we're also going to have to go off to the side here and figure out what is x minus 1 squared. Because x minus 1 squared is the same thing as x minus 1 times x minus 1. So we have some multiplication to do here. So we can start with just that 5. Minus 4 times x would be minus 4x. We just did our first set of distributing, and then we're going to do minus 4 times a negative 1, which is going to be a plus 4. And then we have minus 2, and we're going to figure out, well, what is x minus 1 squared? So we're going to go off to the side here. X times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. There's my first and my outer term. My inner term, negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And last, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So that x minus 1 all squared ends up being x squared minus 1x minus another x would give us minus 2x plus 1. So we still have some distributing to do before we can combine like terms here. We need to do that negative 2 distributed to each term. So I'm going to keep that 5 minus 4x plus 4. We have negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 2x is plus 4x. And negative 2 times positive 1 is negative 2. Lastly, we're going to combine like terms. I'm going to put the x squared out front. So we have negative 2x squared. I'm going to look at the x terms next. So I have a negative 4x plus 4x. Negative 4 plus 4 will actually cancel, so we don't have an x term. And then for our constants, we have 5 plus 4, which is 9, minus 2. 9 minus 2 is going to be 7. So out of all of that craziness, we get negative 2x squared plus 7. Remember, if you plug in a variable for a variable, your final answer is not going to be a number. Versus when you plug in a number for a variable, we got a number out for the first two. The next one we plugged in x's, so our answer is going to be in terms of those x's.